Hi guys, it's John and I'm a mortgage broker with Trinity Finance. Hope you're all okay. Today I'm reaching out to all the police officers out there to give you some more information on how you can get a mortgage, either to buy a new house, remortgage your current property, the complexities involved with that in terms of your working patterns and your income, and how I can help you to overcome that. The reason that I'm speaking to you on this topic is I was a police officer in the past. I'm a retired police officer. I know the complexity of the job. I know the different types of income that you have on your pay slips, overtime, London allowances. I know the deductions as well, so your federation subscriptions, pension, travel scheme. All these things combined can make it quite challenging, particularly for you, to find a mortgage yourself if you're going to different lenders and having to give them the details of your income, your outgoings. You don't always know what you need to put in, where it needs to go in the application and those kind of things, and that's where I'm here to help. So the other thing we're going to be looking at as well is the complexity of you as a potential prospect to the lender. So your job security, the sort of long probation period that you have, the different types of training and those kind of things, and the way that all of that works together and influences your options for a mortgage basically. So one of the first things you probably want to know, particularly when you're looking to buy a house, is the income that they're going to be using to calculate the loan that you can borrow. And as a kind of new police officer, for example, I know you start on a relatively modest base salary, which might be topped up with a number of different allowances, but what you're really looking for is obviously normally to maximise the borrowing that you can have. And so a lot of lenders will start around 4.5 times your basic salary. So for example, if you're earning £20,000 basic salary, you potentially could get a mortgage loan up to about £90,000 with a lot of lenders. But there are others out there who, because of your job security, because of the sort of nature of your role, might be willing to lend more like 4.75 to 5 times your income, in some cases 5.5 and even 6 times in the right circumstance. So that can make a big difference in the amount that you can borrow, from 90,000 up to say 120,000, just working off of that £20,000 example. And that's why it's important that we help you navigate that environment to find the right loan and the right lending amount for you, because it can make a big difference when you're obviously looking for property. One of the key questions I get asked from police officers when they're looking for a mortgage is, can I use the overtime that I do each month to go towards the lending amount? So can I boost my borrowing effectively because I do these periods of overtime? And the simple answer to that question is yes, you can. But the amount that we'll be able to use will be dependent on how regular that overtime is and how consistent it is and how we can prove that to a lender. So you might have it, for example, on the last 3 pay slips. Some lenders will look at the last 3 months and sort of take an average of that. Some will want to go back over a longer period, 6 months or 12 months. Look at the P60 from the previous year to see whether it's consistent with what you're earning at the moment. And the other thing that we need to look at is what type of overtime is that. So for example, it might be a one-off event, like you've done aid at Notting Hill Carnival, you've earned lots of overtime from that, but that's something that only happens once a year. Or it might be that you're acting in a higher rank, for example, so you're acting as a sergeant and you're actually a police constable and you're getting that additional income for a set period of time. Or regular events like football matches that you might do each week. So it's just really key that at the beginning of the process, we sit down together, we talk through what that overtime is, what it relates to, how we can present that to a lender to make sure that they're going to give you the best possible lending decision from your income, and to make sure that we put it in the right place to begin with, rather than going to a lender who initially says yes based on the income that we're giving them and then looks at it and actually decides, well, it's not consistent enough, it's not regular enough, and therefore the lending amount that you can borrow on your mortgage is lower. So that's what I'm here to help with. That's why we have a meeting to begin with, go through it all in detail together and make sure we put it in the right place from the beginning. There are also some government-backed schemes and schemes from developers that can help. So if your deposit is small, for example, then things like Help to Buy, Right to Buy, shared ownership, all these different kind of schemes are in place to help people with perhaps smaller deposits to be able to get a property that is maybe better than they would be able to under their own steam from a kind of full mortgage. So if that's something that would be of interest to you, or you want to look into it more, then obviously contact me and we can go through that together. The other question I just wanted to touch on is quite often police officers will ask me whether I can get a mortgage in my probation period. So obviously Most normal or other jobs would have a probation period of say 3 months when you're starting out, whereas with the police you've got that sort of 2-year probation period almost. But there's still plenty of mortgage lenders out there that will help you during that period of time, because you're in a job that is likely to be very secure, well-respected profession. They're going to look on you favourably when it comes to a mortgage, particularly if you're kind of starting out and you're at the early stage of your career. So that isn't something that's going to preclude you from getting a mortgage. So if you'd like to speak to me in more detail about any of the things that are in this video or any other aspects of getting a mortgage, please contact me at Trinity Finance on 01322 907 000. Ask for Jonathan or email me at jonathan@trinityfinance.co.uk, and we can get an appointment booked in and talk through things in more detail and see what help I can provide to you. Thank you for watching the video.